Welcome to this week's episode of The Wolf's Den. I am your host, Ari Wolfe. We have lots to talk about as we head into Week 11. This is going to be an action-packed episode. We're going to talk a little Mother's Day. We're talking playoff scenarios. We are talking about the value of a backup quarterback. And most importantly, we're talking about a new commercial featuring the Chicago Rush. You're familiar with This Is SportsCenter ads on ESPN. These things are amazing. They feature some of the top athletes around the world. Go up to Bristol, Connecticut, and the Chicago Rush got a chance to do it last week. This is so cool. They flew on a private jet up to Bristol. It was Coach Mike Hohensee, quarterback Cedric Bonner, Damian Harrell, Jeremy Yernerdle, John Moyer. They had a whole cast and crew working on this thing for a couple days. And DeJuan Alfonso was one of the stars of the commercial. Said it was one of the best experiences he's ever had as a professional athlete. He said it was totally cool. John Moyer talked about the fact just seeing the entire operation and the campus up in Bristol was a unique experience. So the commercial's coming out at the end of the month. There's going to be 2 commercials featuring SportsCenter anchor John Anderson. But it's just amazing for the Arena Football League to get that kind of exposure. And we've been led to believe they're going to be pretty funny. We can't spill the details. We want it to be a surprise. But keep your eyes open for Chicago Rush being featured on This Is SportsCenter commercials. Let's talk about the value of a backup quarterback. Unlike any other year in which I've covered the AFL, the backup quarterback has been a huge story here in the 2008 season. Now, some of the top teams in the league, Philadelphia, Dallas, Chicago, New Orleans, all these teams have had to go to backup quarterbacks. And when you combine their record, 21-3. And that is hard to believe. And when you think about Philadelphia's situation a year ago, they couldn't win a game without their starter, Tony Graziani. But this season, Matt DeRazio has come in. He is 5-1 as a starter, and he's also picked up 2 wins coming off the bench, so a total of 7-1. Russ Michna for Chicago, perfect, 5-0 so far this year. Danny Wimprine, 7-2 for New Orleans, and has really put that New Orleans team back on the AFL map. And then rounding things out, Clint Dalzell missed 4 weeks in Dallas. But what a job from Chris Sanders. He came in. Clint Dalzell was calling the plays as the offense coordinator, and he helped Chris Sanders to a perfect mark with the Desperados. So all you starting quarterbacks, we want you to stay healthy. But good news in the AFL, the backup quarterbacks have done a great job so far this season. Let's talk Mother's Day. It's this Sunday, and the Arena Football League wanted to find a special way to commemorate Mother's Day. Now, as being a mama's boy myself, and a special shout-out to Mom in Madison, Wisconsin, we're doing something a little bit different. Now, you take a close look at our wonderful Spalding football. See the blue stripe? Blue stripe's out. Now we're talking pink stripe. Nice little touch there from the Arena Football League. So that will be featured on the starting kickoffs in the games, the third quarter kickoffs, and during the coin toss. So happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. And take a look. The pink football, little surprise this week for the moms in the stands. It's only Week 11, but we're talking playoff scenarios, and that tells you we've got some dominant teams in the respective conferences. We start in the American Conference. Chicago can clinch a berth in Week 11. It needs a loss from one of 5 teams. Los Angeles, Colorado, Grand Rapids, Kansas City. Any of these teams lose. And already Chicago is in the postseason. So congratulations to Mike Hohensee and the Chicago Rush, as they're looking like the clear favorite to be the #1 seed in the American Conference. Now shifting gears to the National Conference, only one team has a chance to clinch this week, and that's Philadelphia. If Philadelphia gets a win and Tampa Bay loses, Philadelphia is a lock for the 2008 postseason. Speaking of the Soul, let's get a little preview of Monday night's matchup between Philadelphia at Georgia. Very special broadcast on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. What makes it special? Live wired, all kinds of access. The host of the thing is going to be Ray Bentley, and he knows the AFL as well as anybody. So Ray's going to kind of move things along, but there's going to be sound in the locker rooms, sound in the bench areas, sound on the field, all kinds of live sound. And let me tell you this about the Arena Football League. They know live sound, as they were nominated for an Emmy for Best Live Sound at a sporting event. So the Arena Football League comboing with ESPN2 to have a really unique experience for the game on Monday night. Now, again, that game is at 8 o'clock on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. But now let's focus for matters on the field, everybody. So we've got Philadelphia coming in at 9-1, but coming off their only loss of the season. Tony Graziani came in relief after DeRazio sprained his ankle in the game at Cleveland. Well, now Graziani's on injured reserve, so he'll be on the shelf for about a month. So Matt DeRazio is now the starter for the next few weeks. So he's going down to face a Georgia team that's got one of the best defensive lines in the league. This is really going to be a battle of Georgia can get pressure. And you know Matt DeRazio is a little bit hobbled. That could even things out, because I think as a casual fan looks at it, will Georgia be able to score enough points to keep up with Philadelphia? Now, last year, Georgia was the top scoring team in the AFL. They had Chris Greisen throwing to Chris Jackson. With Chris Jackson no longer in a Georgia Force uniform, CJ playing football for Philadelphia and doing it well. So CJ, I'm sure, wants to go down and prove to Georgia they should have made more of an effort to keep him. But what a moment for him to get to return with the top team so far through 10 weeks of the season. So Chris Jackson and the Philadelphia Soul will head down to Georgia looking for their 10th win. Georgia will try to improve to 5-5 on the season. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of The Wolf's Den. This has been a ton of fun. Now, in week 1, we had 19,000 hits. Week 2, 23,000 hits. I mean, what the heck? Let's go for 30,000 hits. Tell the other Arena Football League fans out there we're going to try to keep you informed, and we're always going to keep it positive. If you're looking for harsh critiques, find it somewhere else. You won't find it on the Wolf's Den. Enjoy Week 11, everybody.